And this is Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Slick.
And Slick is fresh from the what do you call it? The lockdown.
It was the secure situation.
There you go. It's funny because we'll talk a little bit about this, but yesterday, for those that don't know, we do this show in Tucson, Arizona. And now you were on base yesterday, right?
I was there.
Slick works for a company that contracts on the base at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. And yesterday, with all the news that happened, one of the biggest stories in the country was lockdown at Davis-Monthan. And it was funny because, Slick, I got to tell you, I was over at TIA, Tucson International Airport. I just got in the car and I was driving. I had a little time to kill. So I took the Canon out there and I started taking some pictures. And I noticed that there were, I don't know if when they go into lockdown, they stop air activity because there weren't very many airplanes in the air. And I remember thinking to myself, where are all the airplanes? And I got in the car and I called a buddy of mine and he said, hey man, you hear what's going on at Davis-Monthan? I'm like, no, what's going on at Davis-Monthan? He goes, they're on lockdown. And then right then on the radio, I had it on 790. They came on and said, lockdown at Davis-Monthan, a very serious, tone. And right away, the first person I could think of was you. I thought, oh, great. What has Slick done now?
This time, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you this time.
Not this time.
All right. Well, I know, and it's funny because people were going to your Facebook page. They were saying, and that's nice. People care about you. And they were saying, hey, I hope everybody's okay because they knew you're on base. And but there's very little. Well, actually, not even very little. You're not supposed to say anything according to what they put on what they call. I guess they call it OPSEC, whatever that means.
Operation security.
Okay. So when they're in an operation, so how did you get the word that the base was on lockdown?
Let's see. What was I doing? I was face deep in a motherboard, of course, doing something, and all of a sudden there was a lot of activity out beyond the door. I could hear something going on. Like what? So I step out in the hallway, and I'm looking around, and there were some people that were. I thought they were arguing. Right. I thought there was like some kind of a bunch of group of people just getting into an argument. And so then and then I just like, all right. So I didn't hear anything that told me there was something important going on. So I went back to my motherboard. I'm in there,
That's a dedication. That's true work right there.
And I'm like, it doesn't involve me. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. So I get back to the motherboard. I'm down in it. And then I start to hear like cling, cling, cling. And I look up and doors are closing. Doors are closing?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Back in the motherboard. I care. I look up again, and then now lights are going out.
Oh.
Lights are going out. So, it's me, of course. So I'm looking down and damn, lights out. I don't ask any questions. I don't know why, but sometimes I just don't. I'm just like, if somebody wants me to know something, they'll tell me.
Right.
Otherwise, I go my route, which is I start getting my own information.
Whatever they're going to do, they're going to do for your safety.
Well, I didn't realize it was important. Once the lights started going out,
yeah.
Then I realized, okay, something's going on. Because one other thing, before all this started, I was at the Starbucks on base.
Right.
And I was in there and waiting in line, get a cup of coffee, and we had a power outage for like 5 seconds. It wasn't bad. It was just it was off long enough for me to go, oh, great, those hard drives I was trying to recover data from, I got to start all over again. That's where my head was.
Yeah. Most people listening to this are going, you guys got a Starbucks?
Yeah, we got a Starbucks.
You got Burger King too, right?
Got a Burger King. Got a Popeyes, but stay away from the chicken nuggets because sometimes they don't cook them all the way through. You find out the hard way when you start doing it and go, is this chicken or rubber? What is it?
Now I want to be careful. I don't want to put you in a position where you're maybe there's stuff you're not supposed to say. So, the nugget thing might take it over the top.
I want to keep my security clearance. Oh,
Yeah.
believe you me, there's a lot of things I ain't gonna say. So
now they have loud klaxons too that's said something, but you were so deep in this building you didn't get a chance to hear that.
I didn't hear anything. Anything. And then next thing I know, people are telling me I can't get out the building. Really? Yeah. We're on. And then I hear the word lockdown. So then I know, okay, I'm on lockdown. Now. So I go back to my motherboard because I don't have a firearm.
Yeah.
They won't let me have one. There's probably a good reason for it, granted. But, hey, what am I going to do? If the guy comes out, I'll trip him, whatever. So I'm back on my motherboard. Then I see, and because I'm the only one who hasn't turned out his lights, now they're yelling at me, because I see them, they're yelling at everybody else but me. They probably think, oh, it's Slick.
Yeah, exactly. And then suddenly they point to you and go, lights.
Yeah, well, finally they get to me. Finally somebody comes down and they go, lights out. And I went, all right, so I turned the lights out. Everybody else keep about have the lights out and the door is closed and locked. I've still got my door open. I don't care. I'm still down my motherboard. I've still got enough light to work on my motherboard.
Turn on the glasses lights.
Yeah. It was just enough ambient light coming from this room that was behind me. I was like, fine, whatever. So then there's a bunch of people mingling outside of my door now. I mean, just mingling. And I get the word gets passed to me that I need to go into secure lockdown. So I need to lock up the room that I'm in.
Right.
So just before I do that, I look out and I see this. I know it's going to sound, and it's the truth. So I mean, whatever spin you would have put on it, it's true. Okay. So I see this woman standing outside my door, who I had met about an hour or two earlier. And she's looking lost.
That's terrible.
So, being the gentleman I am.
Yes, of course, yeah.
I go, hey, baby. Would you like to come on back here with me and we can turn out the lights? And she accepted. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Yeah, I can believe it.
Actually, she was a little scared. She was a little nervous. Yeah. So I invited her. She was somebody who works in the base as well, but she didn't know what to do. And I said, listen, why don't you just come with me and we'll go back here.
Right.
So again, we get in. I bring down the gate. Lights are out, and then I get a call from somebody else in the same building I'm at, and she's asking what's going on. I tell her, hey, no details that I can give out. See what's going on. She says, well, about 3 or 4 doors down from me, where I'm at. She says, yeah, the woman I work with, she's down there and she's freaking out, she's crying, she's panicking, and I said, well, tell her. Because they're on lockdown, I don't think they're going to let me. I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with getting out in the hallway. Tell her if she can come out of her room, run down to where I'm at. If she gets to me, I will open my gate and I will let her in.
Right.
And she says, well, I don't think she's going to move. I said, well, tell her if she can do it within the next 5 minutes. I'll bring her in with me.
Right.
And just go by. I don't hear from her. I'm like, well, okay, so she's not coming. So then I hear that. I don't remember if they used the term or not, but I knew what it meant. I had to go into the farthest room in the most central part of the building, which is where I am, and I was supposed to turn all lights off and lock the door.
Wow, so it's almost like you have to go in the corner and hide.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as it turns out, it's the closet. It's the most central one in there. So get in there. And I kind of cheat a little bit. I turn off I don't necessarily turn off the lights, and I don't necessarily close and lock the door. I close the door enough, and I leave the light on. Because I'm thinking, well, I'm in here, and there's no, forget the light. The light's not going to matter. But I keep the door cracked. I'm thinking if I close the door, and there's another order given, I'm not going to be able to hear it. So now I'm in there with a couple of women, and getting phone numbers. So. I get now my phone, I'm putting up messages because I'm thinking, well, there's probably some people knows what's going on. They know I'm here. I better do something. So I try to put out some very generic messages like, I'm here. I'm okay. I'm in lockdown. Everything's fine. In case anybody wonders, did he make it to lockdown? Yeah, he made the lockdown. So then I get a call from Channel 3 in Phoenix.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's right, because I wondered, you being the former media guy, you're going to start getting the people going, hey, let's find out. Slick's there.
Well, people remember, and they go, hey, Well, they start out with, "Hey, just calling to see how you are," and then they get right into, which I know why they call. What's happening? Are you still alive? Great. What's going on?
Yeah. My first note to you on Facebook, I think, was everything okay with a question mark, and then I started reading on the web. You really can't say much, so I said, back saying I deleted that one and said, "Listen, I know you can't say very much. Just I hope everything's okay." And that was it. And I said, because I didn't do any show prep, so let nothing happen to you.
You should have left that one up.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
That one I left up. It's up there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So we were and I get a call from Channel 3 in Phoenix, and I'm trying to let them know. And then what started me communicating with local media was they were getting so many things wrong. Now we may have I could have a conversation with them, and they may say, "No, we didn't." Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. They were putting out wrong information from the beginning. They were.
Well,
Those are the facts.
do you think that was the base, or was it the people who were speculating, or maybe other people that were on base that were doing what they weren't supposed to do? You did pretty much everything along the lines you were supposed to do, saying, "Hey, contact what AP contacted you." You said contact base operations, and that you did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, the Associated Press called, and hey, get a contact base ops.
That would have been. We have a man on the inside.
Yeah. Well, for a couple of reasons, I had to do that. One, if I'm not going to get caught. First of all, give it out. They're not going to be able to go, "That's the guy." No, it ain't going to happen. Secondly, being locked in a room, I had access. Because I kept hearing different. Hang on a minute. There's a speaker system in the house, and it just went live. We have our own
it's a base calling, saying, "Hey, what are you talking about over there, Slick?"
That show you're on? Knock it off. No, so I get the call from the Associated Press, but I have access to various, because I don't want to give everything away, to various peoples,
right,
as well as various systems. That you would expect would go down and go dark and go offline in the case of emergency, but I have my little backups and spares, let's say.
There you go.
So I was still getting information about what was happening, what wasn't happening, and the most I could do was tell media outlets, "You're wrong." I couldn't tell them what the correct and detailed information was, but I could say that you're wrong. You need to recheck your sources.
Some of them, all they were doing was adding to the hysteria of the
event. Were. It was making me angry. It was really making me angry because I know these people, and all I could think of was, "Come on, you know better."
Yeah,
we know each other. You know better than this. So, because one of the things was there's an armed man on the base. Okay, then there are armed men on the base, and there are AK-47s involved.
Yep,
and they're shooting.
Heard that.
And people have been shot.
Somebody had actually posted 6 people. Were shot. He posted that on the KVOA website, and it was still up there. And I just thought, wow.
9 hostages held up in the civil engineering building. SWAT team in action.
Ambulances ferrying victims to UMC. Yeah, but it was a pregnant woman. Just happened to be bad timing. Well, good timing on. She'll remember that forever. The base went in lockdown for the birth of her child.
Yeah, and the one thing that bothered me about it overall was who told you this information? Because and I want to pause here and take our audience back to a show that we did. Oh, was it the beginning of this year?
January 8th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what was it about, Andy?
We were on the air, and we received word that Gabrielle Giffords had been shot in the head and killed. This was during the shootings we had here in Tucson. We were on the air, and this was an event that took place, maybe 2 miles away from this studio.
Mm-hmm.
And Gloria was the one who was getting the news, and she was getting the feeds, and then we went directly to Twitter, and we're getting the feeds as well. And it was, again, everything was just, no, incorrect. Shooter on the loose, all of that stuff. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. And some of it, I think, I was concerned about them because they weren't really attributing their sources. And I'm not saying that they need to out people. It's just that if somebody walks up to me and says, there's a shooter with a gun, okay, I'm going to look, but I'm not going to state it as fact. They were stating things as fact,
Yeah.
According to eyewitnesses, people have been shot and killed, and I'm like, what eyewitness? Who?
Well, and that's the whole thing, is that credibility when it comes to, today's media and television. When you think about it, I think we've learned to trust CNN. We've learned to trust MSNBC, but then something like this happens where it's right, it's right in your face. We've seen it in the media. There's photos, there's video, and then it allows that speculation to go nuts. MSNBC was the one during the Gabrielle Giffords shooting that actually was reporting her dead.
And Fox News did
Fox
as
News
well.
too.
Those two, I will never forgive them for that.
Yeah, and then, well, we can also take yesterday's tragic situation out in Reno with the air show and the crash of the plane that the word is it crashed in the stands. The word is 12 people dead, and that was by a local Reno station. Now that's what they were surmising. They probably couldn't get close enough to it. They were told, there were so many people sitting over there, and they go with the story. And we could make fun of Guy Ashley and the crew over there at one of our local stations that said we check, we recheck, and we check. Because they don't want to put out the bad information. But that's the problem. Even if they don't, it gets out there. Then somehow it circles its way back around to the media organizations, and that's just the way that media flies now with Twitter and Facebook and everything else. I'm sure you were reading things on Twitter going, what the hell?
Yeah. So because if you look at some of my posts, most if not all of them on Facebook and Twitter, I've attributed my information. I reported facts that I knew because I was there, lights out, in lockdown, But the other stuff that was coming from other sources, Fox 11, and I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm just saying if you look at my posts, I'm going according to them. This is what's happening outside.
Right. But there was really, and a friend of mine had sent me a note saying that she was going to go videotape something, but probably it's going to get all closed down and blah, blah, blah. And, people were saying, gosh, we just got over January. And I said to her, I go, what are you talking about? And she said, well, because of the situation at Davis Monthan and the tragedy there. I said, what tragedy? We haven't heard anything yet. I said, I think this is going to be a non-issue. And luckily I was right. I'm thankful of that. But I said, I think we're going to find out it's a non-issue. Obviously, there was some word that got down, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And
they did, actually.
You can't slight them for that. If you remember, it was not too long after September 11th, 2001, a truck tried to ram the gates. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but somebody reminded me of it yesterday.
Yeah, and they did what they were supposed to do. Those guards came up. They're in the ground, and they shoot up. And when that truck hit that was the end of that truck. And I don't know whatever happened to the guy that's in it. I don't know if the guy was killed or whatever, but there are certain protocols on a military base. That's why, the OPSEC was in effect and everything else, and you can't slight them for that. That's, that's our that's the way the government works, and everybody else is just speculating. I don't want to say, and forgive me, and I'm not poking at media outlets because, I work with them, but you don't want this. You don't want it to turn. You want it to be a non-event. You don't want bodies. You don't want people hurt. Because they'll say, well, that's what drives the news, and unfortunately, that's the way many people think. But having a non-story is better than having a story of tragedy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not great for viewership and the ratings and all that kind of stuff, but report what is. Hey, traffic slow on golf links. The base is in lockdown. You're waiting for more information. That's what, and you just have to wait till you get your facts right.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. So, at what time did you finally get out of there? You were in lockdown for 6 hours?
It was about 6 hours. Yeah. Got out at about 5 o'clock. Let's see, we were in there, and then things started to be released a little bit more because I was kind of in contact with some people in some even more secure places. Because people on Facebook were making fun of me, like, "You're in the closet?" "Yes, I'm in the closet again." "Oh, everybody's in the tunnel." "Yeah, they're in the tunnel. I don't get to the tunnel. I didn't make it to the tunnel this time." Although I did kind of sneak out a little bit to a bathroom and lock myself in there. And I'm like,
God.
This is all mine now. Yeah. This is mine. I'm not leaving. I got water. You know,
you're whistling.
Actually, I got some pictures I'll probably post later of me in the bathroom going, "Hey, what are you gonna do?"
That's great. That'd be a great blog as well on lockdown.
You know?
That'd be a good one. I liked it.
But so we were locked up, and then the words was coming down like you and I would get calls. Actually, I got a call directly from operations. Somebody in a operations department that was saying, are you in there? Yes. Lockdown? Yes. Okay, we'll let you know. We'll let you know when you can come out. Which translates to me is, you got to understand, people. Am a military brat twice over.
Wow.
Second stepfather and first ex-wife. That means they're gonna forget me. That's what I am not on somebody's list. Let's face it. Okay, they let me on the base. I get to do stuff, but I'm on those. I'm not even on the third list. Okay, so they're gonna go. All right, did we tell everybody? What time's it? 8 o'clock? He's still in there? So no, we got out about 5 o'clock. They finally cleared us out about 5. And if you look at one of my posts, what are they? I mean, I understood it because I'm part of the base, of what the machinery of the base.
Right.
But I was watching them. I was watching them like let civilians get off base, and I'm going, wait a minute, they get to leave? We have to stay? Oh yeah, I know we do stuff here, but I mean, hey, the gate's open.
What about you? Yeah. So now, does this get you hazard pay from your boss?
He did. He bought a cake
on your release.
Last night he bought a carrot cake. Yeah. I haven't checked to see if there's a file in it yet.
That's funny.
But,
welcome home. You were expecting a bus to be there at the house with the banners. Welcome home.
Some dancing girls.
Hey, you never told me what happened to the woman in the closet. Was she there with you?
I got her number. We were in there long enough for me to be able to, it's like, hey, baby, we ain't going anywhere for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Hey, suppose something happened outside and it's just you and me and we have to start all over with the let's just suppose.
A new society of slicks. That's too funny. Yeah.
If something like that were to happen, we would have exited and it's just you and me.
Well, hopefully you never have to go through that again. I guess I don't know. The official word is it's all clear is all we're hearing. We're not hearing anything else. But as far as what was going on, but that's what we're hearing is all clear.
My only issue with it is, and again, this is just because of my experience with the military as a dependent, not as a member of the military, but as a dependent twice. And because I lived over in West Germany when we had to report, when you see a car driving by with a Russian license plate, you had to report it. I actually touched the Berlin Wall and almost got shot for doing so.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well,
I was with some idiot, and he was like, let's go check out the wall. So we checked out the wall, but this idiot decides to pick up a rock and throw it at towards the east side of the East German.
Oh my God.
And we're if you're on the west side and you touch the wall by boundaries, you're really in East Germany. The wall is in East Germany. So, if they can get a shot off and get us before we really get back to the marked spot that really is West Germany, they win.
They win, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? It's funny because we were talking about, the role that the misinformation got, and sometimes it can be good information. We look at the case that we had and I'm sure there was some misinformation during the tsunami in Japan, the earthquakes that we've had here in California, they had in California, they had on the East Coast, just the weather situation with the hurricane, all of that, they can be very useful. And it can provide good information depending on where you're getting your source of information from. There are cities now that are setting up their PIOs, their public information officers, and I worked for city government for a while, so I know that this was an important job. If something happened in the city, that person would be the one to respond. They would get the TV time, or they would send out press releases, and they really did the work of the city manager to the media, is what they did. Well, now that PIO position also has to involve, managing the public information. Town of Sarita, City of Marana, City of Tucson, for us here in Arizona, they do a really good job at it. You know, they're always posting, okay, here's some events that are going on. Here's some closures on some streets. Here's some things the city is undertaking right now, or here's a meeting they're having tonight. They do a good job with that. But obviously, information does make its way on there. In cases where yesterday with the Reno air show, where we had that tragedy there, you know, people were tweeting, again, misinformation, and then that was getting to sources, news sources, and they go, oh, this person's there. Let's make it a news story. You know, and that's the way that they work. You know, you grab whatever you can, and we've seen that happen to us as well. We've done that. But you know, Gloria brought up a point. She said, "Well, shouldn't there be somebody in the case of this pilot that passed away? James, I think his name was James Leeward. In this case, you know, shouldn't there be somebody that manages his Facebook page and can start really controlling the information coming in and going out at that point?" Because trust me, people were hitting his page yesterday. As soon as they found out the name of the pilot, they were going on, you know, and checking him out. People were making comments on his page. I saw some really derogatory ones about, you know, you just killed 12 people. You know, what are you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. You know, stuff like that. You know, how shouldn't that be something? And then again, it comes to the old idea. What if you are somebody and you don't have very close family members and you like to tweet a lot? Something happens to you. There's got to be services out there, and I would think even more now, where you can basically employ, and they will take care of your data after you're gone.
There probably are one or two. I think I've stumbled across them in the past, and they weren't very. I mean, they were in their infancy, let's say, and so I didn't want to really speak about them. But you know, some time has gone by since I've actually looked into that. I might want to look into it and see what they've got, because and there's some email services, at least I think 5, where if you don't check in with them, they start to send out pre-prepared email saying, if you're getting this email, it's because I haven't checked this account, and it could be because I forgot, or something bad may have happened to me. So here's what I want you to do. Blank, blank, blank. It's almost like a will.
Right.
Contact, here's my passwords, You can send out a whole document to somebody.
Well, here's something very interesting. And I just did this search while we were doing the segment because I thought, there's something that just entered my head here. deathanddigitallegacy.com. And they commented about how back in October, Facebook, and I don't know if you've seen this feature, and there's a couple of new features on Facebook even this week, but this feature that allows you to download your entire content from Facebook. So they're talking about the fact that families could use this, and in case somebody passed away, they said, provided you know the email address and password of the deceased account, you can archive their content in case it is needed or wanted in the future, or have somebody control it like almost like a legacy account. A friend of mine unfortunately passed away, Justin, who I used to work with in Palm Springs. Great guy. And he died way too young. He got sick, and he left behind a family, a wife and a son. Well, the wife maintains his account. And it still is Justin. Once in a while, she'll post pictures that she comes across that weren't posted because they were, new. Facebook was kind of new, and maintains this for her son and the rest of the family. And it makes you kind of wonder, maybe that's the deal. When you and I have talked about this, trusting people with your password. Yeah. There's got to be somebody, whether it be a company that you go to and you say, I'm entrusting you with my password. If something happens in case of my demise, here's my wishes. It's almost like leaving a digital will. It's like leaving, will of your digital life, because we all have a digital footprint that we leave behind long after we're gone. For example, our good buddy Wally. Wally has a Facebook account. Were you a friend? Were you able to do it?
Yeah, still am, and it's MySpace as well.
And I know I'm a friend on his MySpace. I don't think we connected fast enough with Facebook, or maybe we did. I don't know, but all I see is he doesn't have a picture up there, right?
Right.
On his Facebook.
Right.
But and I'm glad that they didn't take it down, but I think the reason they didn't is because they can't access it.
Yeah.
And
that's where I think at least even if you don't leave username and passwords with people, at least leave usernames and the accounts and some kind of a legal document that says you're authorized to contact the company at their demise, and the company has been authorized to release access to you.
Right. It's a good idea. Or you set up a Gmail account. This is terrible. This is one of those things. One of those things we don't want to think about. You set up a Gmail account, and you put the password in your safe deposit box that's given at at your demise, and there it is. Somebody who gets that, the trustee gets that, they administer it. Like I said, it's your digital life right there. Just makes you wonder. Anyway, that's one of the companies that I saw that were doing that. But obviously, you weren't I don't think you were fearful of that, something like that happening, though.
No, and I think that has to do with just a lot of experiences I've had. Just again, dealing with the military, and then just I have to give a lot. I think I'm going to give a lot of credit to this towards being having dealt with the military for many years as a dependent twice. They they drill into you. You learn over and over. When it goes down, just be ready. Right. And people, I don't know many military people, family members, dependents that do panic. It's just like, the bombs are coming. Okay, where do we go?
Yeah. Yeah, we've all been through that, haven't we? I mean, we were kids of the 70s and the 80s. Mm-hmm. So because of that, we know what that's like. Our kids have no clue. They have no clue about, I don't know if they still make them get under the desks in those drills, but all of that stuff. The day it was almost like after the movie The Day the World Ended, the one with Jason Robards. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. It's almost like after that, and after Russia kind of changed its thinking, just that kind of went away. Well, now it's a whole new kind of terror. It's the terror of contagion. Where it's a pandemic that happens, or maybe it's chemical warfare, or something along that line. That's what freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not akin to, very much akin to being dropped off in the forest and going, all right, good luck, fend for yourself. But when you've lived in another country, and literally in this sense, they did drop us off, and they went, okay, you're stuck here now. Learn to live with it.
Yeah,
you don't speak the language, you don't know where anything is, you have no friends. You got to make new contacts. You learn to you learn to just do what you need to do.
My dad was a kid in London in the 40s. So you know what happened to him? They got put on a train and sent up to Wales. All the kids in London. They put on trains and sent up to Wales, and they had strangers watching them, taking care of them. My grandma could have gone, but she didn't go. I think that's how it worked, or they just took the kids. But because the V2s were flying into London.
Right.
So, I mean, that we talk about a different time. Now, what if Twitter existed then? Well, then, I brought that question up to somebody, and they said, well, if Facebook and Twitter existed, then we might not have been at war. I mean, because the ability to gather together and kind of, if you look at it, the ability to get together as a people, to kind of come together and protest, may have been a lot different. Maybe there were people that would have gone up against the ideas of the attacks, by the German government, some of the decisions that Hitler was making, or Japan as well, or maybe even the U.S. I mean, who knows how that would have changed what the governments were doing then, So I don't know.
The only thing that kind of bothered me in regards to the military was this, and I say this without knowing, I wasn't involved in any of the physical operations going on the base, so I say that with that footnote.
Right.
It seemed to me that because I don't want to fault them for being overly cautious, but at the same time, if I walk on base and go, there's a man with a gun, he's running around, he's got hostages, I expect them to look into it, but to do a lockdown seemed without some kind of proof, some kind of fact, something that would make me flip that lockdown switch. What's to say that the next time, whatever caused what happened yesterday, what's to say that's not going to happen again? Somebody, whatever triggered all this, could trigger it again tomorrow, without anybody putting any eyeballs on a man or men with firearms and hostage and shooting and that kind of thing. That's what concerns me.
Well, if you think about it though, and probably it's fair to say, you look at how fast everything erupted at Fort Hood when the shooter, the person was on base, decided to just, do whatever what he thought he had to do or whatever in his nutty world. And I know somebody's probably going to get mad at me for saying that, but and took the lives of the military officers and changed the lives of many more of the personnel that were on base. You look at how fast that happened, and maybe we're a little quick to pull the trigger, but maybe that's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's to pull that lockdown trigger. I don't know. I as far as I got in the military was Civil Air Patrol, and that was about it. And I spent time on bases, and we were told the things when we were on base that even when I was a kid, this could happen, and if it does, just be aware of it. I got kicked in the face by a range officer because I reached my hand over a wall when we were firing AR-15s. They don't care your kids. They don't care whether you're a contractor. Their job is to protect the base and protect the personnel on the base. And even if you are one of those that's on the base, they'll do their best to protect you, even if it means they have to hurt you.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be hesitant to fault them, but I mean, what's to say? Because they did. I'm sure they did what they were supposed to do. It's just that it's almost the boy that cries wolf. I'm afraid somebody's going to say he's got a gun, and then people go nuts again.
Yeah. You come walking out with a soldering iron.
Yeah. And next thing there I am in a pool of everything.
Yeah. A pool of slick. Well, we're glad.
It was just on low.
It was on low.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not loaded. You hold the solder wire.
Yeah, it's not even plugged in.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
But I mean, because we were wondering what scenarios could have kicked this in, before we knew what was going on. I mean, could it have been, we thought maybe somebody jumped the fence. Okay, maybe somebody actually brought a firearm on base. Yeah. Maybe, we considered this maybe a person in the service had lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that stuff can happen. That's that's the tragedy of it all. I mean, and unfortunately, you're stuck in it. So they had to do what they had to do. And meanwhile, I guess you can't. This is one of those things. Let's not worry about what not the military, but what the media is going to say. Let's just not worry about it. We just got to do what we got to do.
And one other thing, not to pass on. Remember, September 11th, the anniversary of it has just recently gone by, and there was heightened security before September 11th, during, and even after, because at the gates there were armed soldiers, surprisingly well armed, and even walking throughout the entire base. And I'm thinking, okay, I know we're on heightened security, but wow, you guys, because they're loaded. They've got live ammo. They're ready to roll.
Yeah, they could hurt me.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, they know something and I don't, but really? I could see people going, September 11th, you all better watch out. And we're going, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we heard a lot of those too. And then some of the attacks took place in Afghanistan itself. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, and that building, that multi-level high building, that was a total sniper's nest. It was a perfect view, but the thing is you could see view right down. I'm surprised nobody could have ever thought of that before. Like, hey, let's tear down that building, that concrete structure that nothing's in. Can we tear that down? Okay, we just take that out? Because they're going to take it out eventually, and that's exactly what happened. But, all right, let's shift gears a little and talk about tech. I mentioned Facebook had changed a couple of things this week. Have you seen this? Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to check into this? They've added some things now in the way that, and it reminded me a little of Google Circles, because now you can have people subscribe to you. So people that don't follow you can actually, they say they don't want to be your friend, but they would just want to see what you post. They can subscribe to you now. And if you make yourself available.
Let me check, because I think now that you mention it, I noticed the whole circles thing, but the subscribe thing.
The subscribe button, yeah.
Yeah, now that you mention it, let me look at that.
It also has another feature there. If, say you grab something off the net. So, say I grab a photo I found. And this made me think, I'm using this as an example. Say I'm online and I find this photo and I just think, oh my God, this is a massively great photo. And I go ahead and I share this on my wall. I share it on my wall and then somebody else comes on. They go, oh, I love that picture too. Share. Oh, I love that picture too. Share. Well, let's face it. There are cases where companies have, say, Getty Images or others have and I may be way off base here, but they have copyright. They have copyrights on photos. You can get your photo copywritten. You post your photo and then it's copywritten, and somebody decides, oh, I'm going to share it off a page. Then next thing you're sharing it. Do you know that company, Getty, could come back and tag everybody who has shared that picture? And say,
well, define tag. I mean, tag. Okay, tag. What does that mean?
I'm saying fine.
Fine.
Fine. An actual fine for somebody who, if you use a photo, say you're a webmaster and a company gives you a photo, and I'm saying this from experience, and they say, we'd like you to put this photo up on our website. So you ask, okay, do you have rights to this photo? Yep, it's part of our marketing packet. You put it on their website. Next thing you know, you get a letter from, 6 months later, you get a letter from Getty Images that say, you have this photo on. It's a photo taken by one of our photographers. It will cost you $5,000 to have this picture up there on the website. You don't bother taking it down because you've had it up there, and because of that, you now owe us this money. I'm going very non-technical jargon, but basically that is what can happen. You have to make sure that, and that's why I've told everybody that I do websites for. I said, take the photos yourself. If one of the websites, we took photos of, the mountains and the beautiful scenery. He wanted to just grab them off the website. And I said, yeah, you can go to Shutterstock, you go to Getty Images and buy them. But I said, I think you'd be safer, completely in the long run, take photos yourself. And then you don't have to worry about it. People go, well, I can't get everybody together. Take the time to do it, or buy the images. Don't steal them off another website or Google Images. Just because they're on Google Images doesn't mean they're free.
Yeah. Using them in a profit gaining scenario. Okay, I agree with that totally. All right, I totally agree. Yeah. But if I see a picture that I just want to share,
right,
and go, hey, look at this.
I wonder again, and I haven't seen any cases on this yet, but I just wonder now, by sharing, by replicating this, if this could trigger some copyright problems with rights to photos. So, like, you share it, I share it, you share it. I mean, we see the same thing now with music. If I share it and I have music in there, YouTube's doing something interesting. If you put a video up and there's music throughout the video, what they'll do is they'll either copyright tag you, which means you can have, I think it's 2 or 3 of those, and then they'll get rid of your account, or they will put the song up there, but they're telling you it could change. I mean, they'll put it up and it's available to buy, and the music goes to the copyright holder if they buy the music off your page. And we're not talking about, the song doesn't even have to be the complete song. It could be a snippet of a song.
Yeah. Well, I may have told the story before, but I had an issue, an incident with YouTube. I got a music video directly from Paul McCartney. He gave it to me. So I could use it for promotional use, so I could put it up and go, hey, look at this. Hey, here's Paul McCartney's latest video, his latest song. Hey. So I put it up in my YouTube account.
Uh-huh.
And they pulled it.
Right.
And I explained to him, I said, hey, I've got authorization directly from Paul McCartney. Here's the email.
Right.
I got, they gave it to me. I'm allowed to use it. No,
but did
no sell.
But they said basically it's for website use, not for YouTube. But what if you have a website, so you put it on YouTube and you connect to it via your website? You don't have a hosting place for videos. See, it doesn't make sense. I think there's stuff that gets lost. It gets lost in the sauce.
They weren't real clear in it. I mean, the statement said for promotional purposes.
Right. That's what promotional purposes are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's the deal? So I just gave up. I'm like, all right, fine, YouTube. So, all you're doing is forcing me to go to another video, to use other video website.
People go to Vimeo.
Yeah.
Vimeo is one of them. Isn't Vidler one?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if Vidler's still around.
Vidler does it. Yeah.
It's Vimeo, Vidler, Dailymotion.
Yeah. People just will post it somewhere else. They post it up on their own site. If it's easier if you have your own site. If you get a letter and you just present the letter, say, here's what we got. They say it's okay. Then I think then it's easier to pass it by and say, no, we have authorization. That's it. And it's such a difficult area now because people want to get their content out, yet their content is protected by rights of the author, rights of the writer, rights of the videographer, the cinematographer. You know, I mean, they're all supposed to get money every time it's played. Think about, we go to with commercials. That's why if you're a commercial actor, you get paid quite a bit of money because it's going to be viewed in many different sources.
Yeah.
So
residuals.
That's what it's all about. I built a computer this week. Finally, built one for Gloria.
He finally built a computer.
Well,
congratulations. How long has it been?
No, well, she's been complaining because her computer has been so slow, and she's got an old Antec case, which I love their cases, but they weigh about 20 pounds, it feels like, case-wise. I mean, they're really sturdy, really strong. And it was actually part of her workstation. Well, since she kind of is not really doing her business anymore, the medical billing, we just said, the kids have been using it. She's been using it. It's been, crashing, and it's been slow. And so I took it out. I brought it out here in the garage. I opened it up, and I don't know, every computer I've been getting the last, let me think, probably the last few weeks has been filled with dust, spider webs, leaves. I took it.
Hey, whoa, wait, back up, just one. Did you just use the word?
Oh yeah,
leaves,
and a big old. Remember on the side of a building that had been abandoned for a while, you would find they look like little webs in corners. Mm-hmm. Something lived in there at one point.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is gone because the web's still there, but there's nothing inside of it. This was in an iMac G4, which that's the ones that have the round base in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A buddy of mine gave it to me and said, hey, a client of his gave it to him, wanted to know if I could clean it up, and maybe use it. Well, he didn't mean clean up the insides. He just, clean up the operating system. So I grabbed a copy of Mac OS 10.6, thinking I could use that. You can't. It doesn't go up. I guess the iMac G4 doesn't go up above 10.5. So anyway, I brought it home and I tore it apart. There's like 4 screws in the bottom. You pull that out. You pull out another piece. I've never taken one of these iMacs apart. It's actually kind of fun. And then you pull down this whole it's kind of like a whole housing unit, and it's got the hard drive, and the cable is neatly wrapped underneath it. It's the old IDE cable, and then it goes to the back. I mean, it's perfect. It's just built perfectly. So I take that down, and then the part of the problem is he's got a dead DVD drive. The drive just doesn't, laser's gone out on it. So I start looking and thinking, wow, I wonder how much an Apple IDE drive is going to be. Turns out you can use any one, really, as long as they're around about the same size. So I put in, just to test that theory, I put in a regular CD drive and put the hard drive back in. It's a little 80 gig hard drive. So but when I opened this thing, dude, I tell you, there were leaves inside the case, like broken bits of leaves. There were webs everywhere. There was dead bug bits, like on capacitors, kind of hanging there.
Yeah. I made it this far.
Yeah, exactly. And, it was bad. So got a little rubbing alcohol, got some air, and just started going through it very slowly, very casual. You do something like this. You don't do it quick. You're not taking like an air hose and just, blasting the thing. You're just being very methodical about it. And got it back, put back together, and runs great. So, and I called him to tell him how much the drive would cost if you wanted to have it replaced. It's a friend of mine, so I'm not charging him for the labor. And he's just like, just go ahead and keep it. It's really,
nice.
We're talking like a $30 DVD drive. He goes, nah, you know what? I don't have room for it anyways. So now I've got a Mac, but the OS, I need to reinstall the OS. The old guy that had it like porn. So I want to clear it off.
Well, don't you want to back it up before you clear it off?
Of course I did. I'm not stupid. It wasn't naughty stuff. It was I shouldn't say porn. It was women in bikinis. But anyway, so yeah.
Is that particular drive shared out anywhere?
I don't need that stuff. I'm old. The guy that's the scary thing. The original owner for this is probably about 40 years older than me. I was like, oh boy. But yeah,
think they'll work. It
does. Here, let me show it to you because it doesn't take up too much space here. See it on the shelf there? That's it right there.
Let me try that again.
Oh, if you notice too, I also cleaned up the shelves.
Oh, yeah. How long did that take?
It took about a day. Gloria had to work, so all day last Sunday. So that's what I did Sunday as I cleaned that up. And I was
Did you wind up tossing stuff? Or?
Oh, yeah. I got old motherboards finally tossing. These are motherboards from like 386s. But that white base there, that's what held all of the leaves and all the crap that was in there. Just absolutely nuts. And I've got some cases up there. I threw away an old case, an ATX case. I don't know. I don't think you need it. It's all you need is more space.
Yeah. There were a couple of towers that were dropped off at the shop, and we've got a little small air compressor. I don't know. I want to say 5 to 10 gallons, probably 10 gallons, really.
Right.
A little small thing. Took it outside, open, and they were identical. Opened both cases, and it didn't look bad until. And I use this description, and it's the closest thing I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And I'm like, I just blow this out, and we'll take them back in the building and then work on them.
Right.
So I get up in there, and I got the holes, and I go. The tumbleweeds that came out of these things.
Tumbleweeds.
I'm not exaggerating, folks. I mean, tumbleweed. It blew. You could see them blow down the walkway, down the sidewalk. I'm like, how out of each of them? I'm like, how did this thing not catch fire?
See, that doesn't make sense. Also, not only catch fire, can it cause problems with them shorting out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what happened. I mean, after I blew it out and took a look at it, I was like, I'm just going to pass on the hardware. I'm not even going to work on this. So I just kind of passed on the hardware. I didn't even try to boot them up or anything. I just was like, man, I'm not interested.
Wow. Yeah, it comes a point where cases are neat and everything, but they're doing so many things with cases now in the design for the airflow that honestly you're better off. That's why her case, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's a good server case. She said, why don't we just sell it and we can make back what we put into a new computer for her. Because I bought it was a 3200 processor around there, Core 2 Duo, and I bought that at SWS used for $30. Not bad. Socket 775. So what we did is when I went in there, I bought the Asus 775 motherboard, which supports DDR3. Then bought DDR3 memory, 2 gigs for $16.50, which is probably a couple of bucks higher, but lifetime warranty on them. So for $32, I got her 4 gigs of memory. I had a 400 gig hard drive just laying here, so I got all the data off of that, reinstalled everything, put Windows Vista. I had a copy of Windows Vista, so I put that on there, and she's pretty happy. Got a much faster computer. Even though it's running the video off, the actual board itself. It's not a separate sound video card or sound card. She's able to do her work now. We got her off Windows XP. That was the last Windows XP system, other than what's on my laptop in the house. That was it. Although I got a link this week for Windows 8 for the kind of the tester version. But everything I've heard sounds like I'm not going to like it.
Well, the thing that's going to annoy me, and I believe we're going to get options for the interface, is this new square tile thing they're using for like Windows Phone 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, from what I'm hearing, I haven't looked, but it's supposed to be the interface for Windows 8 all over the place, on your phone, on your tablet, on your PC, and I'm not looking forward to that.
So basically you would have... So you look at your screen, and you would have tiles, and productivity. Yeah. One would be. Do you remember? Carol had this for a while. It was a special desktop screen, Desktop X, I think is what it was called, and you could put in different sections of okay. So here's all my programs that I use for desktop publishing. Here's all my programs I use for the internet. Here's all my games. So you could create these sections for your games. It was actually really cool. Almost, I want to say almost Mac-like, the way that you were able to kind of set up everything. That sounds to me kind of like what Microsoft's thinking about with Windows 8. Just so that way everybody can access everything, but you're going to have to allocate where this goes. It's like on Facebook. What folder do you want this photo to go in? Instead, when you install a program, which tile do you want this to go into?
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned that, and it's not so much different interfaces don't bother me. That's not what bothers me. It's the core of the engine. You don't put one engine on a moped, a motorcycle, a bicycle, a car, a truck, a train. They all need their little specific tweaks for the engine. That you can maybe at your core, it can be similar or the same, but every device is not the same. And that's how when I hear Microsoft or Microsoft personnel talk about Windows 8, that's what it sounds like, and that bothers me.
Yeah. I'll just be honest with you. I'm really, and I'm getting jaded on Microsoft, especially when I was trying to update a computer behind me. It was a Dell Dimension 4400, older computer. It was running Windows XP, and I thought, oh, this would be easy, until I realized the version they had was Service Pack 0. It was basically and getting the service packs is difficult. So if you're a regular computer guy and you just finally decide to reinstall your computer, you try and get your service packs, you're not going to be able to. So you're going to lose functionality, on your computer. And I hate that. I hate that a consumer can buy something and within 7 years, it's pretty much useless. And to me, yes, I know Windows, like we don't have XP in the house anymore. But why, somebody spends money on it, they should have something that's going to work for as long as the components work. You don't get a car and the computer dies in the car or doesn't get upgrades, so it stops running. It shouldn't happen with a computer as well. I mean, I am so, you don't know how ticked off I am Xbox 360. I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what, Scarlett, we've had so many problems with the Xbox 360. I've got 3 of them that are on the bench right now for overheating. Okay, they're the earlier Xboxes. Now, I know that they're new ones. The Elite supposedly handles it. Well, you know what, at Microsoft? Get everybody who has an Xbox 360, the old one, and give them the Elite at a reduced price. I mean, give them a product that you finally fixed. Don't give... You put out these really crappy consoles that only lasted for a couple of years with the idea that they're going to go out and buy new ones. I'm at the point where I'm
sure that's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
I'm at the point where I'm telling you, you know what? Save up the money, save up a little extra, get a PS3 if you really want to have a console. And she said, well, that Microsoft puts out the games faster. You know what? No lie, it's true, they do. But again, you got to decide. Well, you want a system? So, I'm buying drives also that failed. I'm buying drives. You can't just replace a drive. You got to change the firmware card. You got to flash the firmware on it. Again, was that another? What bright thought did that come from? It's just, because we don't want people touching them. So they just buy new ones, disposable consoles. Don't even get me started on it. I rarely get upset at things, but it's one thing that's just been driving me bonkers. And then, so my feelings of Microsoft have been a little intense. And then yesterday I tried to fix a system that needs Service Pack 1A, 2, and then Service Pack 3. And I think it's just finished doing Service Pack 3. And what a pain that was. And I always think of the consumer. I think, how is the consumer faring with all of this? And I know that they'd be going nuts, or they just throw it away. They do what this guy did over here with the iMac. Just through his DVD didn't work anymore. He had no clue how to get to it. How do you access the drive on an iMac G4? It's a little complicated. You got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to break it. How do you open it?
Bring it to the Apple Store. We'll take care of that for you.
And you walk out with a new iMac, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing. So I don't know. I've been having fun though. The boss didn't give it to me, but the Mac Mini, he's asked me to clear it and reinstall it. Luckily, his software will work, but he wants me to take everything off of there. And so I hooked it. This is so bizarre. I have and I don't have it here with me to show you. I have the Mini Pico little USB stick. It's the little gold one.
Yeah.
And, it fits on your key ring. You just plug it in. Okay, so I've hooked that up to the Mac, and I put some files on there, but it's only 8 gigabytes. And he's got the whole P90 video series on his Mac Mini. So he wants me to take that off to put it on, so he could save it. Oh, my God. So then I hook up a Western Digital external, but it only has so much space available on it. So get a couple files on there. Hook up another Western Digital, won't do it. It's read-only. And every flash drive I have after that, except for one of the Kingstons I have, is read-only. And it's the only way to get it from being read-only is to remove everything, reformat it in the MS-DOS format or another format, which is FAT, by the way. It's not NTFS. Or another format that will work for the Mac. So it's been a wonderful week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of drives, I stumbled across one last week because I was doing some data recovery, and I told them, I said, go bring me an external drive so I can put your data on it.
Right.
Well, they did, and I guess this drive has been out for a while, but this is the first time I've actually, I guess, been aware of it, and I had my hands on it and saw it, and I like it. It's a portable drive.
Who makes it?
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna say it this way because for some reason I did not mark down the manufacturer, but I believe the manufacturer is Seagate.
Okay. All right.
Because the model is a free agent.
Ah, yes, that would be Seagate. Yes.
Okay. So it's a Seagate free agent GoFlex Ultra Portable Drive.
Okay.
It is USB 3.0. It is FireWire 800 and it is eSATA.
eSATA. I like that. That's
It
fast.
was interesting because I actually opened it out of the package and had the dongle, so you get the drive and the dongle. And I go, all right, let me connect this together so I can connect it to the USB port. Hey, wait a minute, what this looks like? This looks like SATA connections.
Ooh.
So they have, if you had the port, if you had the slot in a computer or whatever, you literally could take that little portable USB drive and slip it in there and connect it. Just like you would when you replace a drive on a laptop computer.
Right.
It looks like it will fit.
Nice. That's a nice looking drive. So I'm looking at the GoFlex. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here on the shot. It's a This one's a 1.5 terabyte. What is yours?
I think they handed me a 1.5.
Yeah, nice.
But it's the free agent GoFlex Ultra.
Portable the Ultra portable. That's Ultra means that it does the USB 3, I think.
Well, yeah, it's USB 3 FireWire and eSATA.
Wow, great options. I like that.
Because the other ones were, I know they were USB and they may even be FireWire, but this was the only one I could find that had all three connections in a portable drive.
Right. Nice. So how were you able to utilize it?
Basically I connected it to the server and pulled off the data and handed her the drive, and off she went, using the USB connection. But I was flabbergasted. I was like, this is nice. Nice.
Are you going to get one for the shop?
Not necessarily for the shop. I'd like to get one for Slick.
There you go. Very interesting article also that came out from NPD this week, too. I think you would enjoy this, Slick. Mm-hmm. PC sales, the prices are going to stay down. They were wondering if the prices were going to kind of go up during the, as we approach the Black Friday and approach the holidays. They're saying that the prices are going to stay down, may even drop a little more, due to the fact that this has been a really good time for the consumer and not such a good time for the computer builder because there's just so many products available on the market. And there is. If you think about it, it's flooded. And because of that flooding, the prices are down. Intel machines versus AMD machines, NVIDIA cards versus AMD video cards, Creative Labs cards versus Turtle Beach cards, Seagate versus Western Digital, and that Asus versus MSI. This is just the few little things. Then you got the cases, you got the power, the fans. I had somebody the other day ask me, they said they wanted to buy a new computer. I said, well, I can build you one, and here's the cost. I think I told her I can build her a pretty good machine for around $599. Right? Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, well, I think Dell's selling them for $499. They're refurbished. And I said, well, okay. We go. I never argue with somebody. I never will say, and maybe that's why I'm a bad salesman. I'll never say, well, why do you want to do that? Why, blah, 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 blah. I'll let them go through their experience. And this is somebody who goes through computers and complains because they don't do exactly what they want them to do. So they rather just go and save $50 and buy it from Dell. Oh, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
But they're saying that the price, though, is going to... I digressed. They're saying that the prices are going to stay low. So if you are ready for a computer, this is the time. Whether you're buying an HP or a Dell, or having your local computer shop, whether it be Slick or myself, build you one. This is a good time to do it. You guys build them? You guys build them and sell them, don't you?
Yeah. We like to. I mean, we do put the new ones together, but we like to take parts from what was and then make what is, and
save
then
them
go,
some money. Yeah.
Use this. This is good. This is just as good, if not better, than that one.
Well, and for example, the HPs that I've replaced recently, but we kept their case, kept their their DVD drive, kept their CD, their hard drive. The only thing we replaced is memory and motherboard, and that was it, and the video card on one of them, and that's it. And they kept their case, and they're good to go. It says HP, but it's not HP, and obviously has a different install of the software, but it's certainly that's a good solution for them. You can do that, rather than walking in somewhere and them telling you, there was a time where, and I think it was Chris Hansen or one of those guys did some exposés on computer repair shops where they would take a computer cable in that was just a little loose, or bad cable, and they knew it was a bad cable, and the guy would say, "Oh, your motherboard's blown."
Yep.
And the thing is, you test out everything. So,
the one that came to me within the past few weeks, and I get these every so often. I wish I could remember everything that I get told, that I get told by people sometimes, because just the verbiage that I hear is, I'm like, what? They brought a computer in, they took it to a local shop, and it was probably Best Buy, it was probably the Geek Squad. And the reason I will call them out is because I hear it on the regular, so I don't have a problem with calling them out.
Right.
But they brought the computer in and they go, yeah, according to the Geek Squad, the motor burned out, the engine burned out.
And
it was going to cost $200, $300 to replace the motor, the engine.
Oh my Lord.
And I said, did you is that exactly what they said? Oh yeah, that's exactly what they told me. I said, you sure? I just want to, I just want to be clear. Yeah. I said, well, do you know there really isn't a motor I mean, you have a fan maybe and, some other moving parts, but, there's no engine in there.
Did you try telling him the hamster died?
No. I go, let me take a look at that.
Yeah.
And what it was, I think the operating system was just corrupted, really was what it was. I mean, I don't remember having to crack open the case and go at any hardware. I don't remember having to do that. But I go, okay, maybe that's what they meant. But they're going to charge you how much to fix this? They say, oh yeah, they'd have to take it in and open up the case and everything. I'm like, really?
I got nothing wrong with somebody making money, but there's a point where is it a little excessive? I don't know. They set a rate.
They're really weird. Some of the pricing that I've heard about the Geek Squad and places like that, the national ones, and especially.
Yeah.
They price themselves right out of servicing people because, and maybe they're doing it on purpose. Maybe they are, because you're in the store and they got new computers. But what they tell people, they'll charge them to fix that computer, you can buy a new one for. And that may be the strategy. Could be.
I never even thought about that. But I thought Geek Squad was like an independent contractor, or they're not now. I mean, I don't know.
I thought they were, but
maybe they're not. That's such an interesting point. I never even thought about that position. But then you go to the other side of the coin and you go on to Craigslist and you see, we'll fix your computer, $25, $35. What do you consider qualifications anymore? Used to be, if you wanted to do this stuff, there were people that said, well, you need to get registered, you need to get your A+ certification. Well, what does that mean anymore? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. I mean, it means that you've passed a course and you understand the electronics. If you're doing this, you better damn well understand it. Same thing goes with Microsoft certification. So yeah, they're very handy. They're going to help you troubleshoot a lot of issues, but in many cases, your real world experience is also going to help you. So if you have the best of both worlds, that's good. But I remember a friend of ours, Slick, and we know this person, and this person had stated that they knew a lot about computers. And one day, somebody brought us a computer that they had repaired. Do you remember this? This computer had the power supply. They wanted a power supply. So because the power supply would not fit in this case, rather than doing a search for the power supply, the proper one for that case, they zip tied it to the back of the tower.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could not get over with it. They had duct tape inside the computer holding the power switch down because they didn't have the right nut and bolt for that to the case. It was like they took everything out, put it in this other case rather than listen, having a little pride in the work, saying, listen, it is going to cost a little something more to do this. But they zip tied it. I'd never forget that. And we knew this person, and they knew about computers. It was just like, I was shocked.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and now I'm getting stuff that comes in too where people, and I asked them, I go, because I had the same experience when I was working for Microsoft. There are things that people, either they don't want to tell you, they're ashamed to tell you, or, they just don't understand. And I go, listen, don't worry about it. I need to know as much as I can. So sometimes it takes 2 or 3 different sessions for me. I'm doing it now with one lady about how a particular piece of software got on, I did it this week with somebody else too. How software got on the computer, where it came from, how often it was installed over top of itself, which version it is, and that kind of, and some people are just a little embarrassed about it. I go, listen, don't worry about it. We all do stuff. I said, even I, come on, I can't. There's no way I can know everything. There's just no way.
Absolutely.
And working for Microsoft, I'm sure I've told this story. I used to get calls. I didn't have any certifications when I worked for Microsoft, and I'm not against them. I'm just saying I just didn't because I had my I didn't need them. It was good to have, but I had my reference material. But I would get calls from guys all the time. Go, I'm the IT chief, and I've got MCSEs, and I know what I'm doing. Turns out he didn't know what he was doing.
Oh,
and the guy that told him the fix was me. The guy with no certifications. And didn't take the test because he's like, everything I did is right. I passed the test. I got the certification. I got the exam, and I'm running the shop. Well, great.
And this is not a knock on anybody that does that has gone that route, but
don't start out with I know what I'm doing. Please don't. Say go ahead and say I think I know what I'm doing. Because if you make a mistake, I'm going to look. Here's where you goof. That's all I'm going to say. But if you come off with like, it's your fault that it doesn't work. Oh, I got a solution.
Yeah.
You ain't going to like it, but I got a solution.
Yeah. Ah, boy. You know what? Sometimes just learning to use the webcam can be difficult. And that's where I think now even more, this is the time, and especially with me doing radio in Green Valley, which is the hotbed for senior activity in Arizona, next to Sun City or Sun Valley? Mm-hmm. I just, after watching the video this week of the old couple that get the webcam, have you seen this yet?
No, but I've heard about
it. It's adorable, but it's funny. It's probably what every person that gets any kind of technology goes through at one time or another. Maybe not just a webcam, maybe a new keyboard, a new mouse, touch screen, all of these things. Now, I did get a comment on my Facebook page. I put up this video. They said, I hope people don't, think that all seniors are like this. This couple's cute. I love this couple because it's a bonding experience for them as they try and figure out how to use their webcam, but it turns out the webcam was recording. The daughter or somebody saw this and said, you got to put this up on the internet. This is really cute. And they put it up on the internet and it went viral, and people love it because they can picture their mom and dad or their grandma and grandpa getting a webcam so they can chat with them via Skype. Mm-hmm. The thing I love is about 2 minutes, 15 seconds in, this old guy who just seems like the coolest guy in the world, says to her, and this is something every guy will do, I think, says, why don't you lower your dress a little? You show your boobs. I'm like, oh, this is great. And, of course, she ignores him, realizing he's just, goofing.
Yeah. You know what we ought to do, Margaret? It reminds me of the Artie I think it's Artie Johnson from Laugh-In, the Dirty Old Man.
Yes.
And Ruth Buzzy. You ever seen one of these?
It's a great video. If you get a chance, you got to watch it. I think you'd appreciate it. I wanted to find a way to get the video into the stream so we could show it for those that hadn't taken the time to see it yet, because it actually is pretty good. All right, I want to ask you about the. We'll get back to Facebook and some of the changes they made too about the friends and how you get. It's easier to defriend somebody if you want. It's easier to create the circle, or I shouldn't call it a circle, but it's easier to create that. I don't know. I just want to ask you this one thing. Do you find yourself using Google Plus a little more?
A little bit, not a lot. A little bit because, I'm logged into Google because I use Gmail and use Google Voice. Matter of fact, I probably should throw this in real quick. Thank you, KVOA sent me a message this morning.
Really?
about yesterday. Yeah, they were trying to contact me while I was in lockdown. And I'm like, I can't talk now. The message they sent me this morning says, it seems that much more happened than what DM will admit. Glad you're okay. Notice, the DM, but then at the bottom, glad you're okay.
So waiting for you to come back. Yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
Good. Don't fall into it.
Yeah. So thanks KVOA for the message this morning. So they do care a little. So, there's a television station in town.
Yeah, they're good people.
But yeah, I'm still trying to do the round robin on the social media thing. Twitter, because it's just short, quick, and easy. And then when I spread out a little bit, as it were, Facebook, because I got a professional account and a personal account. And then on the Google, I use Google Buzz. I like Google Buzz. Now I notice that Facebook has made some changes to compete, if you will, with some of the Google services, because before, you make a post on Facebook, and if it's incorrect, you copy it, edit it, paste it, and then delete the one you had before. Now I'm finding on some things, I think it's when I'm commenting on somebody else's profile or somebody else's post, I can, when I click on the X or whatever to try to get rid of it and make a different post, instead of deleting it, it gives me editing out availability.
Ah, nice. I like that.
So that was something that was available in Google Buzz first and nowhere else. Because even with Twitter, I have to create a brand new post it, and delete the post I had before that was spelled incorrectly or something.
Right. That's phenomenal. I like that change, because that's one thing that I hate is you go to and you realize that I misspelled. I'm a chronic misspeller. Then I misspelled something, and then I go, oh, crud. I got to go back and fix it. Then you have to delete the whole thing, or copy and paste and just do it. Yeah, that's pain. That's neat if you can do that feature.
But then the people, still surprised, I guess, that I use Google Buzz. But hey, I got used to it. I got spoiled. I got used to, hey, they did it right, like Google Wave. I really loved it, and so when I think about creating a post that I'm going to post, and then have to come back later and go, oops. Just like Blogger or making a blog where you can edit a blog post, I think of Google Buzz first.
Right.
And then put my Google Buzz links on the other services.
Well, let me ask you, do you use any of the other services now that you used to use before, like Hotmail, Yahoo, AIM? Do you use that?
No, only because I haven't had time to go back and get back into them and try them. Now, some of them, and I'm not going to say which ones because I'm really not sure which ones. I know there are. There are services I really would like to go, you know what, I'm just going to close my account here and just be done with it.
Right.
But I need to take some days, some time. At first I was thinking, well, I need a day. And then I think, well, okay, maybe I need a weekend. And now maybe I need a week. And now, really to catch up on everything I'd really like to get done that I just don't have time to get, maybe a month. A month of just me being able to get through stuff.
Well, I found accounts that I had canceled on Yahoo, because you have accounts and then you cancel them, that I was able to bring back to life. Now, it doesn't retain any of your information, but if you had a screen name that you liked and you decide, I want to bring it back, you type in, you create an account. It'll let you create an account that you had previously. Now, AIM lets you always keep your account. So if you had an account with AOL, I should say, and you remember, oh yeah, I had that account with AOL, and you go back and it'll help you fish your password or create a new password, and there you go, you've got your account again. It's like having a cell phone and a cell phone number, that you want to take with you. Well, you kind of want to do the same thing with your screen names.
Yeah, I kind of want to hang on to my Gmail and my AOL email accounts because they both support IMAP and POP3. Right. As soon as I can, I want to get the hell away from my Yahoo Mail accounts. I love Yahoo, but not Yahoo Mail, because you have to pay $20 a year to get the POP3 service. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just get off of you guys.
$20 a month for POP3, really?
$20 a year. $20 a year. Yeah.
No, even then, I was thinking of switching ours over to IMAP because you like that feature.
I like that because it's syncable is what it is. It doesn't just download off the server and then it's syncable. It's like I delete here, deletes there.
Right. That's not bad. All right. I got something I want to share with you. I think you'll enjoy this, and I hope you can see the screen here, Slick. With so many computer shops now, again, Craigslist and people that just want to, I know how to fix these. I can fix them from home. Somebody fixes a problem in their computer, and suddenly they can fix them all. This happens. I was in the 5th Street Deli getting a cup of coffee this week. And I saw this on the wall at the deli, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. And I was reading of Savvy Computers. It's kind of neat, you know. They have hours. They actually have a building that they work out of. But then when I took a closer look at it, I thought, uh-oh, somebody needs to use a spell checker. Because not only do they fix virus, malware, and operating system problems, they also fix spaware.
Spaware?
Spaware. I guess that's, you know, when something happens with your bikini, maybe it gets screwed up. That's your spaware. Yeah. Either that or the guy dictating it was from the South. He said, computer problems. Type that one out, Mabel. Now type out call today. Type out viruses. And then type out spyware.
Did you say spyware?
No,
that's what I say it.
I said spyware.
Okay.
Anyway, I saw that sign this week. I just thought, and it's not the first time I've seen misspellings, and I probably will have one at one point, but I saw one on a store in Huntington Beach, a computer shop in Huntington Beach. It said Adaware, and it was spelled Addaware. I thought, oh boy.
Adding aware. Okay.
I've seen misspellings on sales items at Fry's Electronics, you know, on the shelves.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah. I have a camera with me at all time, whether it be my good one or whether it be the cell phone cam, and I'll take a picture just like I did on this one. And, you know, they usually look at me funny when, you know, I'm holding the camera up on the message board taking a picture, but it works.
Yeah, I can't really comment on this because in our shop there were some posters up with misspellings which I had nothing to do with. They were there, but they've been there for the longest time, and nobody seemed to be able to get around to correcting them. And actually, somebody finally did walk in. What was the word? I wish I could remember the word, but they were reading it anyway. Their face just went blank. Because then they realize, because I know what they're thinking. Wait a minute, these guys got my computer. And they can't even spell. You know, so he looked and I go, I know it's misspelled.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, boy. All right, well, what else is going on? Oh, I want to show you a new product we got this week. And I think that you'll like this. Like this is especially helpful in an office and situation. It's the N600 Netgear. This is a wireless dual band gigabit router. Now the one they sent us is the premium edition to try out. This one does up to 3 to plus 300 megabits per second. The range, they say this is the best range product they have. You can surf, email, and chat, do wireless printing, downloads of music, voice and video, online gaming. It's good for large floors or large home HD video streaming. They're saying avoids interference. It has a thing called the Clear Channel Selector. Thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. It says that dynamically, the Clear Channel Selector dynamically avoids busy Wi-Fi channels for clear and fast wireless connections. Ready Share Cloud, access and share files on an attached USB hard drive anywhere you have an internet connection. That's kind of neat. So if you have a USB drive somewhere, you can actually share files to this. You know, you allocate it.
Actually, that I was just going to say the channel selector is a really, really, really good idea because for the longest time, there's been no really simple, easy way for people to realize, you know, I need to check and see who's on all the different channels so I can pick one that nobody's on.
Exactly. Or maybe you have a situation where you have a couple of different locators or spots. The size, it's a little big, but it does, you could either have it stand up, and it comes with a stand as well, which is kind of nice, or you can lay it flat like this, and you have all the access to the front. Let me go ahead and open it up so we can take a look at it. We just got this in yesterday, so I hadn't opened it yet. But you can... here we go. Don't hit the keys there. All right, so you have all the back panel there. So you can see that. You've got basically your 4 connectors. Then you have your input here. And then on the front, it'll tell you what speed it's operating at. You have easy buttons as well. So, I mean, looks pretty cool. And it even has some preset wireless settings, and it puts the code information on the front, on the top there as well. Even has the network key. So if you don't want to set your own network key up, it has it. That it generates for each individual one, which is kind of nice. And then power supply is a basic, let me see if I can get this out here. Basic plug, long cord, a little cheaper cable. But this seems to be standard, but a long cord that you have for this. It's kind of neat. I do kind of like it. But anyway, now the dual band, I still have to do a little research and find out what exactly that provides for the end user. Somebody told me basically it just means faster throughput. It's like think of taking a dual core processor and having multiple processes on that.
Well, when it says dual band, here's how it comes across to me. Unless what you're looking at is totally different than what I'm about to describe. Because we're using a dual band router here. Most Wi-Fi and, believe it or not, everybody, Bluetooth is on the 2.4 gigahertz band.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff on the 2.4 gigahertz band, believe it or not. Your wireless telephone, the wireless phone that you plug into the wall and you walk around the house with, that can be on the 2.4 gigahertz band.
Right.
So now there are a lot of devices have been coming out and still are, where they offer 2.4 gigahertz, which is Wi-Fi, as well as 5.2 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So that's what I assume they mean. They mean that particular router will work on 2.4 and 5.2.
Actually, 2.4 or 5.0, 802.11 ABG and N. So yeah, you are correct, 100% correct there.
Okay.
So that's what that is. Okay.
Because whenever possible, I actually use 5.2 or 5.0.
Yeah, we have one of these in the office, and we've had no problem. Range is great. The range is really good on these. Supports Windows.
I think by specs, the range is going to be better on 2.4 than 5.2. It's going to have a longer reach, I believe, in general.
Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say that it does support IPv6. Yeah, it says, 802.11n is supported on 5 gigahertz. BG and N is supported on 2.4.
Right.
So let's see, Windows 7, Vista, XP, 2000, Mac OS, Unix, or Linux as well. So very cool. I'll put this to the test. It's the WNDR 3800. Just came out this past week. So.
And since you're showing that product, let me mention this, which I don't have the products here, but I'm just going to just a quick commentary, which if I don't believe I've mentioned this before. We picked up a couple of Wi-Fi extenders and tried them out. Huh?
Yeah, you had mentioned this last week. Did you get them to work?
No, we took them both back.
Really?
So just keep that in mind. Just be wary. If you Wi-Fi extenders, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying make sure you can get your money back. That's all.
So
so far it's 0 for 2.
Really, 0 for 2 on them.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, how big is the area that you're putting them in?
Just in a house, one level, 3-bedroom, small,
Right.
Half acre, maybe quarter acre. I don't know.
That's weird. So your option is to create an access point? Is that what it's going to be? It's like another access point?
Yeah, it's either that or to try to find, because like I said, I got a suspicion because of the conversation I've had with some of the support personnel in one particular call. I got a suspicion that their official line is this: if you're using a router that we have manufactured, and you're using a Wi-Fi extender that we have manufactured, they should work together. Yeah. Because that's where the conversation was heading with one. And I was like, okay, I kind of get it, but isn't there a standard?
It makes you wonder. I ran into that problem when we were hooking up the Xbox 360. And I could not, for the life of me, find a solution other than getting an old Linksys router, flashing it, and then having it, work on this special system that's in the Linksys router to extend the range of my Xbox 360. Then, once Linksys came out with a device, I think probably about 5 or 6 months later, that took care of it.
Yeah, so all I'm telling people about Wi-Fi extenders is just be careful. That's all. Just a reminder to be careful.
All right. What else? What else we got for today?
Well, let's see. If you go to, probably if you check my Twitter account, twitter.com/slick, and then maybe my Facebook as well, and Google Buzz. But I've been aware of this, and it's not very popular, and they do happen, but it's rare. But we got a new one. Trojan.membromi. MEBROMI. Looks like one of the newer viruses, if you will, that will attack your BIOS, the basic input-output system of your motherboard. Somebody actually on my Facebook page said, "What's a BIOS?" Yeah, that's it's the thing that actually boots the hardware, that motherboard of your computer, and then functionality goes out beyond that to your hard drive and your ports and stuff like that.
Huh? Not good. There's so many floating around. You're gonna laugh. Have I told you that how much I like about Norton? I'm loving the new Norton 360. I don't know what it is. They fixed something, and I've been a big fan of ESET, but the new Norton has been running phenomenally on my system. Hooked up a drive to test out on this system, and once Norton went in, checked that drive out as soon as I plugged it in, said, "Here's some problems. You want to fix them? We'll fix them, or we'll just take care of it." And I don't know. I think I'm pretty sold. On Tuesday, I'm going to go install Norton on one of my clients' computers that is having some virus issues that just keeps seeming to come back up. And he's been sticking with AVG and Avast. So I said, let's go the Norton route. Let's see if that works for you. So
in general, I've never been against Norton. I've been against the way people use Norton, and I'm against that people don't understand that Norton. The way they protect, and again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is the way it's done. They take control of your system. They can be, in certain instances, a system hog.
Right.
Not a knock against Norton. I'm just saying that's the way it works. So in general, do they protect and do they protect well? Yes, when properly used. Absolutely. But sometimes people don't properly use it. And they put it on and they go, "Oh, it's breaking, and it doesn't do that." And Norton let this happen. No, not necessarily. Norton didn't necessarily let that happen. Yeah. That's what I'm fine.
Just research, I don't know, to make it happen. I don't know. I just know that I like it now, and that's what counts. And pricing wise, they're still reasonable. I mean, I know there's other products in the market, and people say, "Oh, they've got a better engine for discovering viruses before they actually happen." But I don't know. I'm pleased with it. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, actually, and the information I got about this new attack towards a motherboard is directly off the Symantec website, Symantec.com. Off of their blog and a couple other posts. So take a look at it, because again, the first thing it tries to do, as most viruses do, it'll go for the hard drive first. It'll try to get in there and then bounce its way back to the motherboard.
Right.
So not only will it get to the operating system or the files on the hard drive and stuff like that, but then it'll go motherboard and then master boot record.
Those are nasty. Yeah. I don't like them. I don't like the ones that are messing with the keyboards now too. There's ones that are out there that mess with the keyboards, and that's the ones that go in and delete your photos and your documents and everything else. They're not nice people. They don't play nice. But if you have a computer and you want to protect your computer, spend the money, invest. I'm not saying AVG is bad. I'm not saying Avast is bad. They're great. They're great for people on a budget. But if you want to do a little research, find the one that works for you, and spend the money on it. It's worth it. Yeah. It really is worth it.
And speaking of stuff for sale and a discount price, there's been the news story I picked up on this morning from various sources, but right now I'm looking at PCMag.com.
Right.
The headline reads, "Belkin half off sale crashes site, but it's good through September 30.
Wait, Belkin half off?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently, and Belkin apparently is blaming Gizmodo for it, because Gizmodo misspoke, I guess, on a post or something like that. And he said, half off today only. It's like people were like, "Today only?" And they went to the Belkin website and crash.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
So the sale, the half off sale, but you have to use a code, by the way, too. So it's just not just you go to the site and you go, "Hey, there's no half off here." You got to use a code.
People will go. People will go for the sales now, man. Newegg is always having them. They're always doing sales. They're doing really well. Target had their system crash this week. They had what is it? This clothing that normally can go for upwards of $15,000 is now on sale, or at Target for, $40-50, and people were going online and they crashed the servers trying to buy this stuff. Number one, who's going to spend money on clothes like that? I mean, I got my Radio Exiles T-shirt. That's all I need.
and ladies, are you really going to look that good in that dress? Come on. I mean,
well, it's
now
one of those things.
the only thing that's on to the side, if you change the page, you click next, and you see that thing. Yeah, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Oh boy!
Not that I've been to the site.
Yeah. Let me ask you, out of your shopping sites, Slick, where would you say the ones that you could tell us about? What are the sites that you tend to go to more often than not? Because we do have reseller agreements with or affiliate agreements with some of these retailers that you'll find on the Tech Talk Radio site. So anytime you can shop through those, I certainly appreciate it. But which ones do you tend to go through the most?
Usually the toy stores first, such as, of course, ThinkGeek. Because they got the neat, geeky stuff.
Right.
And then I start to go to places where I'm going to window shop. I may go to shop anyway. For example, as bad as it's going to sound to some people, but Walmart. I mean, Walmart's open. It's 24 hours. They're all over the joint. Okay, I check Walmart. I check Radio Shack because I'm just hanging on to Radio Shack. I remember back in the day when you could get a diode.
Oh, yeah.
Transistor off the shelf, exactly when you need it.
You go in there and tell them, I want a capacitor, and they knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. I need this own resistor. Oh, we got that right over here. Yeah. Those were the days, boy.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
Yep.
Where else do I go to the shopping for electronics? I do spread out a little bit, like to the Office Depot, Office Max, because sometimes they have killer sales.
Do you look at Newegg?
I don't do Newegg a lot, and it's only because I don't really have a credit card or a debit card.
Right.
So it's ordering from Newegg is a problem for me. I don't have any money if they support PayPal. I don't have anything in my PayPal account at all. So
right. Well, I recommend, since you go to SWS, that you take a look at shopsws.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting paid for this, so I will mention it. They have redone their website finally. About time. I don't know why it took them so long to do it. But it looks like they used a pre-purchased template. At least that's what it looks like. But I got to tell you, they did a really good job on it, and it's nice that they finally made it happen.
Yeah, it's good, and I've been to the site actually. I've actually looked at the new site. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a browser. In the case of SWS, I look at their website and I go, if I'm looking for something, maybe I'll use the website. Otherwise, I like to go into the store and walk up and down the aisles.
Right.
There are some stores where their website is just not appealing to me, but the store is, because I want to browse. I want to browse the aisles.
Well, one thing they need to do, I think, on their site is start doing specials. They have some on here, but the specials are not that good a special. When you come to a website and you see a special that is $500 and $500 and maybe $99 for a printer that you could buy maybe at Walmart or somewhere else, it has to be unique and it has to be a really good price, under $75. Whether it be, and we're talking maybe to a different crowd here, but who is their target? Is their target us, the guys that fix computers, or is their target the college student? I honestly believe it's the college student.
Well, and I will go with that for a little bit because of their new location, where it is. It's right down the Speedway, it's right down the street from U of A. So I will go with you that far for that reason.
Right.
Yeah. Is it still the geek and the nerd and the tech and the supply? Yeah, but it's not like, I guess there's another electronic store in town, which I believe is still at 22nd Street and Park near there, some electronic where you can really get hardcore electronic parts.
Oh, yeah, you get the capacitors and everything there.
Yeah. The name just escapes me right now, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're becoming a little bit more standard consumer friendly, which I get it. It's good. It's fine. Because also on their shelves, I noticed they were selling used desktops and used notebooks. Little expensive, but they were there. I was kind of surprised at the used stuff they were selling for the price that they were. Like, really? You're selling it for that?
Was it too pricey?
It was too pricey for the poor specs. You know, it was old tech at today's prices. So like, that ain't happening. Come on, cut that out.
Yeah,
I did laugh. I did laugh at the store because I looked at one of them. I went, "You gotta be kidding me!"
That, you know what? That's been and I love the guys over at Bookman's. You can go on in there and you can find a great magazine. You can find some really good books and stuff, and they have an electronic section. But honestly, it's like I think what happens is they look at. I don't know. I think that they look at eBay and they see what the high price is, and they price it based on that. And I never find anything. I don't think there's been anything that I've said, wow, that's a great deal. I'm buying that. So I don't touch it.
I give Bookman's a pass, and maybe it's just an emotional thing, a sentimental thing, because I do like Bookman's. But I give them a pass when they overprice something because you're not going to find that device anywhere else anymore. It's an oldie but a goodie, and maybe a collector wants it, or maybe somebody who really needs it wants it. So I kind of give them a pass on that one. I kind of go, well, it is what it is.
Right. I don't know. I hate though because Gloria always likes to go to the, the fabric store and stuff, and I don't like doing that. So I walk into Bookman's. I go do my thing, and I like being there for like 10 minutes, and I like, okay, I'm done, because I look and I go, how much is that? Oh, how much is that? Oh, they had a camera in there because I'm a camera buff now. Mm-hmm. I can take good pictures now. But
okay.
Yeah, it's all about the camera, right?
Yeah.
But I went in there and they had I think it was a T3. No, it might have even just been I think it was just a Canon Rebel, and it was $600. And I thought, wait a minute, I can go on QVC and buy it for $799 with an extra lens, a kit. So you look at those things and you just think, well, where can I go with this?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But moving to free stuff, I'm not a big gamer, and I wish I had time to play games like it. Not all the popular games, but there are certain games I'd really like to sit down and kind of get into, but no time, no money, not even a really good gaming computer. However, this week we learned that Portal is free.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah. However, there's
what's the catch?
It's free until the 20th. So go to Steam, Steam.com, whatever it is, or follow some links, because if you do a search on it, you'll find it. So it's free until September the 20th. Now, these are the same people that put out Team Fortress 2 for free. So there's a free version of Team Fortress 2, which
right.
I love because of the tunes.
Well, yeah, but did that end up... I thought that these were only good until this trial, and then on the 20th it stops working.
No, you have to install it before the 20th. And the ones that were installed before the 20th will continue to work.
Oh, you're kidding me. That's a great idea. Oh, if you don't have Portal, you got to have that. If you've never played Portal, you got to play that one.
I've never played Portal, but people have screamed about how great this game is.
Oh, dude, you would love it because you love puzzles and you like being smart. You would you would enjoy it.
Here's the thing. The video I've watched of it, I see people poking holes and stuff and then maybe grabbing stuff and moving it through. So how do I... What's the object of the game to get what?
I could see you totally being analytical about that, Slick. I could see you sitting there looking at it saying, if I move this over here and I move that over there, I'll try that. No, that didn't work. Okay, we'll go back. You'd be almost Sheldon-like.
I'm glad. Nice segue. Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome, sir.
Speaking of Sheldon.
You're welcome, sir. Wait, hold on. Let me do the Howie Mandel.
Do it again. Do it again.
I don't know if I can. I don't know how he does it. It's like it's really. Now that show's gone for another 4 or 5 months now, so I don't have to worry about it.
Sheldon is coming. Sheldon is coming.
Yeah, this week, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's be clear about this, though.
All right.
Okay. So on CBS this Thursday, I believe, the 22nd. Am I giving my calendar out? Yeah. Okay, so season 4, I believe, of The Big Bang Theory starts up on Thursday on CBS. Okay, so we're back with that. However, here locally in the Tucson metropolitan area and probably throughout the country, so you have to check, The Big Bang Theory airs weekdays on our local television station, KTTU TV 18. And I think we get 2 episodes a day. I think.
But they're going to run out of episodes really quick.
I don't care. I'm a rabid Big Bang Theory fan.
Well, me too.
I don't care.
Me too. But I think, like, I've seen every 2.5 Men episode now. Once in a while, I'll go, oh, I haven't seen this one. But I think I've seen every single one. Are they going to still do 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen, or are they getting rid of that?
The speculation has been, here's what some people are theorizing. Well, they're pushing hard 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen in reruns and on cable channels and local channels hard now, because when Ashton Kutcher gets on, they're going to pull the Sheen episodes.
Right.
And, see what happens. So, they'll still run them, they'll still dole them out, but they're not going to be as available as they are right now, because they're trying to build up some excitement about Ashton Kutcher coming.
I could maybe see them doing that, but you're making so much money with the reruns, they might even go up. Maybe people watch it, go, oh, I want to see that Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men, or I want to compare it.
That's true. Well, and that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
They're afraid of what happens when people start comparing. What if things don't go well? What if Charlie Sheen really was better than Ashton Kutcher can be, will be, etc.
Here's what could happen. It won't happen. I mean, the contract for Ashton is only 1 year. Okay? So what if after 9 months it just seems to be failing in the ratings? Now, will Chuck Lorre decide, oh, that's it, I'm going to end it? Or will they come up with some way, as Charlie is now suddenly seeming a little more sensible, maybe won't have every iron in the fire in another year. Even if they're killing him off in the episode, there's nothing left of him, because supposedly the way he dies is pretty graphic. So what if they figure out, let's bring him back? What is a bad dream that Alan had? I mean, I know it's just terrible to think the bad dream thing that they did it in Dallas. You never know. I mean, you never know in this business what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. They've done stuff before that's just blown us away. And I think I have to say I think their CBS is toying with the audience, because there are some people that conspiracy theories are. Some people have actually said, "Oh, I think Charlie's going to be back. I think he's going to be on the episode." It's been the big secret. And
he's going to be reportedly dead, and then all of a sudden go, "No, I made it. I stepped out of the plane before it crashed."
Yeah, or the subway. And he'll suddenly appear and go, "What's going on? Who the hell are you?" And to Ashton Kutcher. And it's funny because the ad that they have on CBS has the audience going, like surprise. So. I think they're toying with the audience. It's not going to happen, but I'm saying it's just amazing. I think it's funny that they've got the roast on Comedy Central on at the very same time. And trust me, I will be DVRing that.
And circling around a little bit, I get some magazines, courtesy magazines, because we're in the media and stuff like that. And I think one of them was Soap Opera Digest or something like that. Are you aware?
Wait, hold on, Slick. Wait a minute. Okay, so yes, we get offered Computer Reseller News, Tech Digest, even PC Magazine, Make Magazine. We get offered these magazines. Somebody offered you Soap Opera Digest and you took it?
Yeah, I did. Because I'm a readaholic. And I'm a readaholic, and they know I will review and talk about anything. To give a side note, if anybody caught the last podcast of Evans and Foster, at the back end, I reviewed a movie.
Right.
But not one you'll see in the theaters.
Oh, one of those movies. You actually reviewed that? How do you review one of those?
The first one I reviewed. But they send them to me. I'll read them.
Wait a minute. They're sending you these movies and you're not sharing them with your friends?
Oh, I've got it available. Not to worry. It's not that I'm hoarding it, or anything like that. It says I had to go through it first so I could be knowledgeable, as it were. The subject matter.
Okay.
And research.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. So, but I think it was a Soap Opera. Did you know, maybe you heard this. Is Dallas coming back?
Yes. You didn't know that? I love it. I love Dallas. Dallas, great show. Always loved Dallas. It's coming back, and it's coming up with Larry Hagman, Patrick Duffy, and Linda Gray. They're going to be in it. But I think they're just kicking it off. And then it's going to turn into, a younger kind of Dallas crowd in Texas, ranchers, oil barons, the whole bit. I think it's going to do good. TNT is going to run it.
I wasn't sure who was it was. I just heard about it. It's like, okay.
All right, with all the shows coming back this week, the biggest one I know you want is what? Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm missing Sons of Anarchy because we don't. I mean, again, in the house we've got television, but they're not digital receivers. We don't have an antenna. We don't have satellite or cable television service. We do everything off the internet. So and then we got a Netflix account, which we really be strange as this is going to sound. We're thinking about just cutting Netflix loose.
I did it this week. I felt good. It was like a year ago when I stopped smoking. I quit Netflix and I felt good about it.
I mean, I would like to watch certain shows if Netflix would carry them. I'd like to watch current Big Bang Theory episodes. I'd like to watch current Sons of Anarchy, or even like on current TV. I want to watch Countdown with Keith Olbermann. I'd like to watch that, but I got to be able to get it over the internet. Got to.
Well, okay. Well, let me ask you. You're thinking about dropping Netflix. If you do, why is it? Is it because of the cost?
For me, since I'm not paying the bills at all, the cost has nothing to do with it. But from the person who's paying the bills, he says, I don't get to use it.
Right.
That's his complaint. It's like, we're face down in motherboards all day, and then at night, to be honest, at night we come back, he streams NBC Evening News. We kind of really the Twit TV, Leo Laporte's network, with Tech News Today,
right?
Sarah Lane's cute, very cute. And then there are other, for me personally, there are other podcasts and podcasts that I have access to, which is fine for me. I'm entertained and informed. And I mean, Bloomberg TV streams over the internet, so I can watch their news programs. They have a show. I can't think of the name of the show, but it really focuses on, it's broadcast from the West Coast, and it focuses on technology stocks, technology stories, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, you can see a lot of the programming now on it. It was funny because we wanted to watch MTV during the MTV Video Music Awards, and I was out here in the garage studio, and so I logged in, but I had to log in with my Xfinity account because I have Comcast. So otherwise I wouldn't have been able to watch it, which I think, I don't know, maybe there's more value in it if you run the ads on your web stream. That's what I would think, but maybe you run into other issues where you got to pay more because of AFTRA and all that other stuff when it comes to paying for the ads for the actual ads themselves. I don't know. I got to tell you, I dropped Netflix because here's the deal. We were already talking about dropping it. I know it's only like $8 a month, because all we did was the streaming option. But I would sit down to watch a movie, and there'd be nothing on that I'd want to watch. I'd be like, where's the movies? The only ones that I ever wanted to watch were the ones that were tied to the Starz network. Well, Starz has just recently announced that they're ending their relationship with Netflix, which is probably going to be a good thing for Starz, maybe even a better thing for Netflix. I don't know. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to put this on hold. I mean, it's $8 a month. Yeah, it's not a lot of money. Yeah. That's $8 a month I can put into Xfinity or paying that cable bill down, and just kind of spreading the love when it comes to the money. So I went online to cancel, and it said you can go ahead and hold your account. And I thought, okay, we'll do that. And I could choose a date to hold it, and I set it for December 21st. And in the meantime, I could go online and see what movies they have. And if I decide, you know what, yeah, I'm going to change it, and then I go back to the $8 a month, right? Mm-hmm. So I did it. So I've been off since the 8th of this month. And wouldn't you know it, I had changed credit cards, so it kind of worked to my advantage. Wouldn't you know it, I got a note saying that we were unable to charge your card from Netflix.
What happened to this old thing?
Yeah,
baby?
Exactly. So I went ahead and canceled it. And I called customer service to tell them why I canceled, because that's obviously a problem. And the guy argued with me saying, well, you canceled it on the day of. And I said, well, yeah, I canceled the day of billing, right? Well, you have to cancel it before. And I go, but if you cancel it before, you don't give me any credit. What if I wanted to watch a movie that night? Well, you have to cancel it the day before. So I said, so are you going to keep attempting to charge my card? He goes, no, now that you canceled your account, they won't. I said, I had it on hold. Well, you did it on the day of. It was like, oh. I said, you know what? I just wanted to tell you why I canceled and why I'm never coming back.
Yeah. Can I speak to your mom?
Is Peggy there?
There's no Peggy.
Greetings. Thank you for calling Prime Credit. This is Peggy. What a character. They ought to do it.
That is a good commercial.
They ought to do a sitcom based on that.
Yeah. I have to be. The retraining is very painful. Retraining? Bam! I love that one.
All right, the shows that I want: 2.5 Men, obviously. How I Met Your Mother, love that show. Rules of Engagement, can't wait to see that one back. Modern Family, love that show. That'll be neat. The Middle, love that show. That'll be a good one. The Walking Dead on AMC, which I believe is coming back this month. Can't wait to see that. And then I think that's about all I have in the Big Bang Theory, of course.
Yeah. Since you mentioned Big Bang Theory again, I forgot. I wanted to slip this in too, and I forgot about it.
Oh, The Office. Yeah, sorry, The Office. The Office.
Big Bang Theory will be on TBS beginning on Tuesday, I believe, September 20th. So you get it on CBS. You're probably going to get it on a local channel, that runs reruns, and on TBS on Tuesday they start, and I think they do an hour. I don't know that they do it every weekday or weeknight, though. They may just do it on Tuesdays, like 2 episodes.
I still don't know. I think it's going to play. It's going to play every. We only have 3 seasons or 4 seasons?
3.
12 episodes or 24 episodes per season, right?
Yeah.
24, 30, and they're going to do it every day. They're going to burn through them in a couple of months.
How many episodes are there then of 2.5 Men? Because I don't know.
I think there's usually a season is 24 episodes.
Okay.
So usually,
because I see there are some channels, local broadcast channels as well as cable and satellite channels where it's almost like an all-day 2.5 Men, and I'm like, were there really that many episodes?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I see them do that too.
And I'll give you an example now. But we love Becker, right?
Yeah. I do love Becker.
There probably was not enough of those episodes made for it to be played as often as it was. But I remember, channels playing, a couple of hours of Becker a day. They would split them up, and they would be the same episodes. I knew the episodes, I knew the storyline, I knew the jokes, but I'd watch them anyway.
Yeah, they're still fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's good writing. It's like MASH. People still watch MASH. I still watch I Love Lucy. Because even though I know every episode, because they're just so much fun to watch. So maybe you make a good point, and it may bring more people that have not stayed up to watch The Big Bang Theory to start watching the show. Gandalf in the chat room says NCIS is his show, that he likes watching. That's a good one. Criminal Minds, Law and Order is back with Mariska Hargitay. That one I think I would want to watch.
NCIS, is that the chick where they have the where she's the forensic girl and she's got the ponytails and the dark makeup and stuff? Is that her?
Which one? Yeah, that's NCIS.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a strange show.
I find her strangely attractive.
Really? She's so out of place for a crime lab, I would think.
I know, but she's so weird. It reminds me of some of the other shows that were on and didn't make it, but they all had little quirky people who did science, and they were really good at it and really inquisitive and that kind. But they were all kind of weird. They dressed kind of weird and acted kind of weird.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of us in that genre because we have to be kind of weird and focused to do what we do and be good at what we are good at.
Well, let me ask you this: are you going to watch Ted Danson on the CSI, on the original CSI now, taking place for Lawrence Fishburne, who left?
That didn't last long, did it?
No, Ted Danson though. Well, if Lawrence Fishburne's a good actor, he's in the new Contagion. I'm not to say that Ted Danson's not, but he's obviously. Is he going to do television when he could be accepting film roles at Paymore?
I don't know. Ted Danson was working on Damages, which I haven't had a chance to see.
Right.
Which is probably a good show.
Is he still doing that show? Isn't that an HBO show or a Showtime show?
I thought at least he was doing it. He was on it.
Right.
And he was playing a kind of a real dark character, from what I could tell.
Right.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I don't think anything of it until I really see him. I mean, Ted Danson is, for me, I think you go either way. When I mean that, I mean just like acting roles and types of characters.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked like I said, I liked Becker.
Because Becker was totally different than Cheers.
Oh yeah, I liked Creepshow. Do you remember Creepshow?
I remember Creepshow, but I don't remember what it was about. I don't remember watching.
He did the episode with Leslie Nielsen. Creepshow was a film that came out. It was directed by George Romero. It was kind of his coming back to that with different stories. Stephen King even was in one of the episodes. Played Jody Verrill. Love the movie. But Ted Danson, Galen Ross, who was in Dawn of the Dead, and then Leslie Nielsen. It was about a guy who catches his wife cheating. So she goes to the guy's house, played by Ted Danson. They were going to leave him. You know, he's just some rich guy. And he takes them and he buries them in the sand. All right?
Oh, yeah. I did see that somehow.
He makes them watch each other. And they both end up dying from drowning. So he goes back to his a little condo on the beach. And next thing you know, their spirits come and they come to take Leslie Nielsen with them. And it's actually really good. And Ted Danson played a funny kind of, he wasn't funny. He was kind of humorous in the way he came off.
Yeah. Somehow I did see that. I did see that.
It's actually really good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I like that one.
Because the end shot is the head in the water. And yeah.
I can hold my breath for a real long time. And then it went into a comic book panel. And then it went to the next story, which I think was, I want to say Burgess Meredith. No, not Burgess Meredith. What is the guy's name? What's the guy who played the cockroach one? What was E.G. Marshall? E.G. Marshall is a guy who lived in an apartment that had to be clean, and then he had a problem with cockroaches. It's like,
are you talking about Joe's apartment thing? Or?
No, it was I know what you're talking about, but no, it was Creepshow. You got to see it because I have a thing against cockroaches. I do not like roaches at all, and I see one I freak out. There was one time I was sitting in the kitchen in California, and we used to get the big ones, the ones that were like, you know, the size of a cassette deck. And
that made it to the buffet.
Yeah, exactly. And in our kitchen, we had a computer right next to the fridge, and it was and I don't want you to picture this to anybody because I know you'll all get ill, but it was not uncommon for me to be up late at night, the kids are in bed, to go sit in my underwear in front of the computer and get work done. Just, yeah, I know that's a terrible, terrible image, and I apologize. But I'm sitting there on my underwear in front of the computer, and I see a roach, right? So I grab the swatter, and I'm swatting at this thing, all right? And I'm like, oh, God, I killed it. And just as I say, you know, and my hair on my arms stand up, and, you know, and my adrenaline starts pumping, and it's just like, I can't kill this thing enough. I do not like them. So I'm working on my computer, and wouldn't you know it, the monitor, right over the top of the monitor hits Buddy. Right towards me.
Hello, Wendy.
I swear I jumped up so high, I think I jumped and flipped over the chair. I did a Matrix move to kill that thing. Gloria said it was the funniest thing she had ever seen because she was sitting at the other end of the room, and here is a grown man in his underwear screeching like a woman trying to kill a cockroach.
Maybe, but it's still nothing like having a tarantula crawl up your leg while you're on the air.
That's not good either. And how did you deal with that one?
I screamed.
Was it a ah or ah?
It was a good long. As I'm dancing on top of the audio board now.
That is hilarious. Gandalf wanted to let you know that Kota DePaulo is the cute girl you're talking about. She looks kind of... You know what she reminds me of, though? And I hope she doesn't get mad at me, but Raven. A little Raven. Like, that's how Raven would be in that situation.
Well, there's a shot. There's some pictures of Raven where they look similar, yeah.
Yeah. So I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Oh, well.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
And Raven's cute, too, aren't you, baby? Yes, you are. You know you are.
She's not here with us today. She couldn't be here. She actually, I forget, she told me what she had to do. Because I haven't sent her the cat thing, the cat massager. So I'm going to send her the thing to massage her cat. And she's going to put the cat through it. So, well, not through it. She's going to make the cat test it for us. All right, I know you got to get going. We got to wrap. Went a little long today.
Well, we had stuff to talk about.
I had anything else to show you or to talk about. So hopefully we'll get some new stuff coming in. I want to get a look, and I put in the request for, and I don't know if you've had experience with this product, Slick, but it's a Acronis True Image 2012, which is now available.
Used it.
What do you think? Do you like it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's real straightforward. Real straight. Now, it's almost real straightforward. There are some options there that for the unexperienced might throw you a little bit. But if you go with the standard wizard, the choices, then you'll be fine. It's just that me, I was like, no, well, let me see if I can make some modifications. Oh, well, maybe I can't make those changes. But it's possible. It's just that you have to use it a couple times before you go, oh, now I know how I can make my little old customizations.
All right. Well, we'll have to. Hopefully, I'll get it this week. Get a chance to try it out. You can download a free trial. If you are going to be doing any kind of web purchases or any, we put specials on our website, and I try to change those every day. This week they've stayed the same, but we're going to be changing those again daily. Every day, usually around 7 o'clock, there'll be a new special that's up on our website. So if you're looking to purchase something or maybe go through our website, it helps us maintain the cost of the web, which, well, not the whole web, just our site.
We can't afford the internet. That's not a budget.
I've tried, I'll cover you this month.
Yeah. Now we're going to have to pass on the cost to somebody else.
Also, you can check out Slick on Radio Exiles. When do you post a new show?
Every Wednesday, right along with the It's a Prime babes. I love It's about Prime. I love being on the same day with these girls because we sound just the content doesn't change, the conversation doesn't change, just the voices,
Well, you can check that out right again on Wednesdays. You can check out my show on Radio Exiles. On Tuesdays, it's totally different than this show, but once in a while, now I'm starting to do the websites of the week, so we do that. That's kind of cool, so I do post that. But again, you can do that. You can also check us out, here on the website, or Slick, you can hear on the Tech Buzz. And how often do you do the show with him?
It's been pretty much every week. Didn't do one last week because he had some business he had to take care of, but turns out it's pretty much almost every week, as it turns out.
All right, well, very cool. And again, that website is it thetechbuzz.net?
Yep. Somebody's got to be funny on that show. You know what I'm saying?
Steve tries. You got to give him. You got to give that to him. He tries to be funny.
We like him, so we try to help him, don't we?
Humor him. Absolutely. Sorry, Steve. All right, we'll be back next week with more Tech Talk Radio. We had a little issue with our Skype today, being that I couldn't afford to pay for the next month of Skype. So next week we'll have that taken care of, and we'll have all four of us hopefully back in on the show with Broadway and Justin. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody who visited us, everybody in the chat room. We've got Mike Linux. Thank you for maintaining the chat. Gandalf, CC Mike, J.O., Mule Dog 197, and Unidentified 22592, which is me. All right. Slick, where are you? You're not in there.
I was in, and then it froze again on me, so, I popped in. I tried, kept popping in and out, and it was just no go today.
All right. Well, we'll get that working for next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure we will.
I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Slick.
This has been Tech Talk Radio. Have yourself a wonderful day.